Hello everyone, Siri Emerald here, and this will be an unboxing video of the Hot Toys Iron Man 3 Iron Patriot 12-inch figure, sideshow number 902014, made in China by Hot Toys, and this is the Movie Masterpiece Series number 195 D01, which means this is the first diecast figure that they have made in this series. So let's get her out of the box. Okay, we have the typical diecast box here with the outer sleeve and the inner sleeve, and as well, again, just like the others, or the second would be in the first one, the plastic piece has a different piece of artwork on it that coincides with the cardboard piece underneath it, and we can see right there it says Lieutenant Colonel James Rhodes. And it says Marvel Iron Man 3 right there. MMS 195 D01, meaning it's the first die cast of the Movie Masterpiece series. Iron Patriot, 1/6 scale collectible figure. Movie Masterpiece series die cast. Hot Toys over there. Masterpiece series over here. And on this side, the name continues with the artwork that continues on. And of course, this is kind of rough. You can feel the letters here if you run your fingers across. You can feel all those over this roughness here. And this just kind of feels rough, just like a real fine sandpaper. And on the other side, it says the same thing, MMS 195 D01, Iron Patriot 1/6 scale collectible figure. And on the back, we have the people responsible for making this figure. So we'll go ahead and bring this up here so we can see this. Marvel Iron Man 3, Iron Patriot 1/6 scale collectible figure, MMS 195 D01, Hot Toys presents. Chan, JC Hong, Ray Ling, Ko Jun, JC Hong, Ray Ling, Ming Young, JC Hong and Ray Ling, T.S. Wong, Vic Chung and Monster Jr., Jan Wong, Ray Ling, and Fei Lui. Produced by Hot Toys, Unit 103A, 22nd floor, Nanyang Plaza, number 57, Hung Tu Road, Kwantong, Kowtoon, Hong Kong. I wonder if I'm saying all that incorrectly. Facebook, Weibo, it's like it's written in Chinese there. Official retail store, Secret Base. Official retail store, Toy Hunters. And 2014, Hot Toys Limited. And on the bottom piece, we have the warnings. And it says it's a choking hazard. Not for children under 3 years old. It's adult collectible, not a toy. Recommend for ages 15 and up. And it talks about how you should read the instructions. And not for children under 3 years old. There's some sharp pieces in here. And so you should read those instructions. I mean the warning right there. And there it is in other languages. And right there it says this package is protected product only. So they don't care if the package is damaged as long as the inside is okay. And there's the barcode, etc. Okay. Slide the top off here. And we have the styrofoam with the name cut into it, or etched into it, I guess would be another way of saying how it's made, cut or etched. Not sure what the difference between those two would be. So it says Iron Patriot, and on the back side we'll be able to see the storage facility for it. So let's start with the back on this. We have an instruction manual. We have the silver base that has come with the die cast. We have the little lobster claw that'll hold it together. You just pinch this right here. Just pinch this right here. It opens it up. And the little rubber soft piece that goes down the back to hold it in. Little screw, or excuse me, nut and bolt that allow that to attach to the metal rod that it goes onto. Sometimes they put some really good tape on there. There you go. And the metal rod goes into the little silver colored base that they've designed for the diecast figures, which has Iron Man 3 right there, the movie that was in. It's Iron Patriot. It's a light up base, so you put the batteries in here, on off switch, and the lights come around the side there. And that just pushes in, just like that. And then this piece just fits right on there like that, and you can tighten it down by screwing that bolt into this nut over here. So that's how that works. I'll set that over there. Here's the batteries for it. It's all the smaller ones, LR621s, AG1s, I believe is what they are. Alright, here's the instruction manual for the Iron Patriot. We've got the contents over here of what it's going to go through, so it's going to be a few pages. And there again is the cast and crew, people responsible for the creation of this figure. And step 1 shows you how to remove the top of the helmet to replace to install the batteries that go inside of it. And it shows you to use a little screwdriver that they've included in the batteries to unscrew that. And it says AG1 LR621s. And it should look like that when you have it turned on with the batteries installed. And step 2 shows you how to remove the back. So you can put the battery for the chest arc reactor. And again, use the screwdriver to do that with the on-off switch right there. And one thing I've always found interesting is that, in my opinion, they put the on-off switch on upside down. I'm accustomed to flipping the switch up to turn something on and flipping the switch down to turn something off. And all of the Hot Toys figures, they're backwards. You flip the switch down to turn it on, and you flip the switch up to turn it off. And I don't know why that is. Unless they go sideways, and then they flip to one way or the other, left or right. I think they flip to the right to turn on, like in the example here, and then left to turn off. So there it shows that the battery goes into the goes into the bicep of the arm, and then the switch is in the forearm of the arm for the repulsor palms, and the palms light up. And this shows you that you can where the right and the left are different because the piece is designed differently for removing of that. And there it shows you again how to put that in, like I just showed you, the 3 AAA batteries that goes into it. It says not to use any of the other stands with this figure because of the weight of it, and it tells you that the screwdriver comes with it. And now it's going to tell us about the mobility of it. So here it shows that the head can be interchangeable from the light up head to the sculpted head with Lieutenant Colonel Rhodey in it, and then the fully closed and slightly opened version of face masks, because it actually separates when it comes off, and you can place a slightly opened one onto the James Rhodey's forehead as shown for it to work with the magnets. And we have here the palm and arm are held together at the back of the palm. So you want to be careful when you take the hand off not to squeeze the little gauntlet, otherwise you can break it off when you do that. So you want to be careful and pull, keeping that in mind to remove that, to keep from breaking off the back armor piece, a little wrist gauntlet piece. And it shows you that you should twist it when removing it and putting it on to make it easier. And here it shows you about the forearm missile, or actually it's a machine gun that can be interchanged on the left arm, and it only goes on the left arm. And here we see about the rail gun that goes onto the back. I'm not sure if it's a rail gun, maybe I'm saying it incorrectly. It's a shoulder-mounted machine gun that goes onto the back, and about how it can rotate in many different positions. It's fully positionable. You can put it on any side that slot is. You have essentially 5 slots to attach that to. Here we see that the arm can be moved to the side within 75 degrees. Raising it too high can cause the armor to collide and chip the paint. You should pull down the arm to get even more extension. You can do 90 degrees if you pull the shoulder out of joint just a bit. You don't want to disconnect it at that point. You just want to pull it just enough to do that. And it'll put a gap in there so that it can raise it another 90 degrees. And it shows about the forearm at the elbow as a 90-degree raise, and you can pull that down as well to improve the articulation to 110 degrees. And here it shows the waist movements. You can extend the waist by giving it a tug, and it'll allow them to bend and move a lot more when you separate it by pulling the waist apart. And here it says that the foot as well can be pulled down to give more positioning, to make it more maneuverable. And it says the legs can be raised within 75 degrees. The little hip joints can be pushed up to help the leg move. There's a button on his butt that you can push down to allow the legs to drop. And when they do, this little groin area separates out, and it allows the legs to be moved to 90 degrees when you have that separated. And let's see, last page shows that there are a couple of pieces on the waist that they felt were sharp, and they want you to be careful with that. And then whatever you do, when your mannequin is holding your figure, don't let it drop it. So, and there's your warning about the batteries. And don't look into the LED light because it could be bright. Let's open the box here. Included in the instructions is the little plastic pry piece, because in the batteries they only put the screwdriver in there now. Okay, so we've learned from past experiences that when we open this up, the pieces like to jump out, so we're going to lay it back a little bit so we can take this top off, keep the pieces from jumping out. All right, so there he is. So it's funny, people like to refer to this as the repaint, but I'd like to point out that this actually is the first diecast. So actually, all the other ones would truthfully be the repaint. The Hot Rod and the 2 versions of the War Machine Mark II. In all actuality, they would be the ones that essentially would be the repaint, because this is the first diecast, the D01. So we have the figure, we have the 2 faceplates, like I said, that slightly opened one, which goes on the roadie face, and then we have the light up eyes, and then we have the fists, the repulsor palms, we have the articulated hands. Maybe that may be the articulated hands there. These could be the fists. That's definitely the repulsor palms. There's the saluting hand, the one hand they gave you for putting him in the saluting position. Here's his machine gun. Here's his shoulder-mounted machine gun. And let's get him out of there. He's a really good looking piece, and I'm an American, I'm patriotic. I'm all for that, and I think he would look good posed next or near Captain America. I think that'll look good. You know, one thing they could have done, and I don't know why a third-party retailer hasn't jumped on this yet, but if I remember correctly, didn't a couple of people actually wear this suit? If I remember correctly, Killian did, and then the president did. So there's 2 more actors' heads that they could put with this. Yeah, that'd be neat to have. So, get him over here. Yeah, here we are. There he is on his pose, and yes, it's the articulated hands I actually have him posed with, or in the box with, which caught me off guard. I thought it would have been the fists, so that was a little pleasant surprise for me. And here he is. Let's see what he looks like there. Give you a little close-up there of him. He's very brightly colored. I like it. The blue really looks good on these figures. It's a contrast to the red on all of them. And there he is. He really looks good in the red, silver, and blue. Your eyes want to believe that silver is white, because you're so used to seeing red, white, and blue, but it's not. It's definitely silver. He does have the white markings on him. Has his name right there in the front. It says Lieutenant Colonel James Rhodes. Says FF AF 04445, and with his little Air Force symbols there. Not sure what those letters and name mean. And right there it says danger. I assume that would be an exhaust port. 002, and disengage to service, says right there, for the machine gun. Another little danger symbol right there, another Air Force symbol, and something right there. Can't make out. It says ammo. So his ammo goes in there, and on the side there as well. So let's go through the articulations on him. Alright, so his head can move around quite a bit, so he can look pretty much straight down. He can look up pretty well, not exactly as straight up for the flight pose. You can twist his head all the way around unnaturally, and you can tilt it to the side like such. The arms pull down like that, and then you can, with it pulled down, you can get out to a 90 degree straight out, and then you're going to push it back up to get it into the more normal shoulder position and to get the arm close into the body. And the elbow has two joints in it, so you can move it once and then push it the rest of the way. And it says you can pull it down to get an even further joint extension on that. And there it slides just a little bit to give you a more of an angled elbow articulation there. And push it back up to get it in there again. And the arm will go all the way around its socket. So again, you can put them into unnatural positions, like such. And right here is where you'll remove the cover for the batteries. And under here will be where the on-off switch is. Let's see. Well, that's not the on-off switch. Don't pull on that. You'll break it. Let's put that back on. Where is that on-off switch? There we are. Right there. Okay. So the on-off switch is right here, which is in a different location than it is on the left arm, because on the left arm you have an interchangeable machine gun. So it's underneath this, right here, with the battery in the back of the bicep. And you want to be careful not to separate this piece right there. That'll snap clean off. So we'll leave this off because we'll put the machine gun on there. One thing I like about the diecast figures is they're weighted well, so they'll stand pretty much without the need of their stand. So here's the little machine gun that pops up. Funny, looking at this, you can see that the design on this piece doesn't accurately represent a piece that would pop up. They kind of made a mistake there, didn't they? Because there's no door here that looks like that. How about that? Notice the danger stickers are different sizes too. Stuff like that, quality control, really starting to go right out the window, it seems. So much to take just a little bit more time to ensure that this movie masterpiece series maintains itself as a movie masterpiece series. Okay, so let's go ahead and install the machine gun on here. We'll just snap that right over. That. We'll just keep that on there. And the articulated hands that are on here, they each finger has 3 joints, just like your own fingers do in real life, and the thumb has 2. It doesn't have the palm joint on it, so you can move the thumb like such. So with these articulated fingers, you can give an OK sign. So move that thumb like that. is okay. Red is not very good with my background, is it? You can give the hang loose right there. You can give the I love you, which is also the Spider-Man thwip. You can give the peace sign. You're limited only by your imagination as to what positions you can put his hands into with those fingers. So there's that. The waist separates in this manner. Just give a little tug. You see how it separates there, which is going to give him much more mobility. You can bend over in that capacity and do a back bend like that. You can do left and right bends, and you can twist like such. These little side pieces move up out of the way. The legs disengage by pushing this button back here on his little butt right there. It allows that to pop down so you can move his legs into actually a seated position, and then just push it back up and it locks in place. They go out pretty wide like that. His knees are double jointed, so you can get a really good bend in his knees. His feet can move like that, and his all the way back like that. So you can really move him around quite a bit. And his toe goes up and down, separate from his foot. Put him back. Let's put his hip back there. Let's get his machine gun out for his back. Shoulder cannon can be put into several different positions. This moves 360 degrees right here, and this moves in this capacity like such, and then this moves like that, and this moves in this capacity here. So essentially this little tab right here goes into any one of these slots that you want to put it in. So you can put it over here. Like that. And then you can move that around like such. The little tab spins, so that can be spun. And then this can be moved like that. And this can be moved like that. And you can literally just put this into pretty much any firing position that you want to put it into. You can be aiming at anyone with this machine gun back here. It's really clever how they did that. Yeah, that's right there. And right there in front of the machine gun, it has a little warning about danger warning sign. Let's see if we can get it to focus in on that. Looks like a little laser light. A little laser light warning on it right there. It would have been neat if they put a light inside of that. I've seen it on the quarter scale, but that goes right there, like such. One more piece of plastic. here's the Don Cheadle Head sculpt right here. The jaw dislocates just like that, like it did in the movies. Now, they've given you two face masks. This is the closed up one, where it's all nice and tight in there. And then this one is the one that's slightly opened, just a bit it says. And you can see that difference, just like you can on the light up mask. You can see there's just a slight difference between those. I mean, very, very minute between the open and the closed face masks. You can see it more so from the front, how it's cut out, where it's actually separated from that. You can see the angled in it. It's not the case. The other one's nice and smooth. So, but it says to use that one when putting it onto his head, and to use this one when putting it onto his face. So I assume it's only for the aesthetics, because in all actuality, underneath both of them are magneted, or they have the joining pieces in the same place. They appear to be the exact same size, it's just different designs on the front. Another thing I didn't much care for on this is that neither one of them really seem to fit up there perfectly. When you put it up there on his head so that it can be open enough to see his face, it doesn't really want to sit right. The magnets don't just quite line up properly. You can't necessarily get them to be exactly where it's supposed to be. It just doesn't want to sit properly on there, and it does not necessarily want to pop open enough. So that's a little, it tends to fall down and doesn't want to sit properly on there. So I wasn't too pleased with that on the War Machine Mark II. Definitely, you can see this is a problem they've had from the beginning. Nobody evidently brought it to their attention. Doesn't really work that well. But this is neat. I like that. I think that's probably wasn't done on purpose for it to look like that, but you can turn this into a little comedy act. You can talk for you. Hello there, how are you doing? So I thought that was pretty interesting. And the hands that he comes with, obviously, as I stated earlier, are the articulated hands on this. So you have a set of fists, closed fists, right there. Now, the difference between, for instance, using articulated ones and using the ones that are molded, like the fists and the repulsor hands. Oh, what do we have here? A little muck is on my figure. Clean that up. Where that came from. Anyhow, the difference between these is that on the molded hands and the joints, they're painted the color that they would be it black or gold or silver, whichever it is, whereas the articulated ones are actual real functioning joints, and they don't have the advantage of having the black color in there. So you get that by using these instead of the articulated ones. Got to cut that cleaned up, whatever that is. And as it was saying, this piece is actually molded onto here. Be careful when taking this off, because this will snap off if you're not. And this is the saluting hand that it comes with right here, and that's pretty neat. You know, I imagine somebody might want to put him into a saluting position. You can't get him into a true military salute. You can get him real close though. It's an acceptable salute, especially considering he is the Iron Patriot, and how much more respectful can you be than to put your service for your country in that capacity as he has. So that's a really neat pose right there, and I really like it. So there you are. There's the Iron Patriot. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please leave your comments in the section below. Follow me on Facebook and Twitter, Siri.Emerald, and tell me what you think about this figure. And happy collecting. See you on the next video.